You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk, a movie podcast where we give pumps and dumps.
Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week, I'm your hunk.
I'm Doge, and I'm a chunk. It's in my DNA.
And I'm Carter. And hey, Twink, get this man a chunk.
Nice. Yeah, nice. I like
Jordan,
that.
I noticed when we, like a second ago, when we started the show, remember?
Yeah.
You said that you were the hunk?
I did.
That's interesting. Can you explain why?
Very simple answer. I stubbed my toe this morning.
Oh, no.
And it took a hunk out of your
Did.
toe.
Full hunk.
Wow. And a hunk out of the door.
And a hunk out of the door. Well, it was a chair, but yeah.
Oh, wow. I assumed it was the door. That's on me.
That's crazy.
That's my fault.
Why would you just assume it was a door?
That's totally my fault.
You
Doors
stub-
are toe magnets.
Do you stub your toes on doors a lot?
Like door frames. I'll catch that pinky boy,
You gotta
dude.
walk in the middle.
I'll catch that.
Doge walks.
That's life advice.
Doge swings both feet in a full 180 degree
Yeah.
arc on either
It's-
side of his body.
How else am I going to get that motion of the ocean in these hips?
Oh, that is important. That is very.
What's the point of walking,
Yeah,
right?
I've never really understood the point of walking to begin with, much less if you're not just smacking your
much
toes
less.
into stuff.
If the-
Much less.
Much west.
Much
west.
So I have a list of things.
Okay.
It's just your shopping list.
No, it's not. It's not.
Deodorant.
Here we go.
Toothpaste.
It's going to sound like it at first. It's not, though. 3 French fries. A collection of door trash. Okay.
Okay.
A pebble that has been stuck in the bottom of someone else's shoe.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you know these 3 things have in common?
They're all in your car right now.
No.
Oh.
Doge, you want to try?
That was going to be mine too. They're
Okay.
all in my car right now.
Right. So actually, let's just collect everything. I'm going to go ahead and collect everything at the bottom of y'all's cars.
Okay.
These are all things that I would rather pay $15 for. Completely. I would rather. I legitimately was like, you know what? Yeah, I would have enjoyed these things maybe more, and it would have made more sense. But for
Than
some
this movie?
reason,
Are you talking about
yes,
than this
for
movie?
some reason, I want to see what it looked like when Justin Lin, is that the director, whoever
Yeah.
it is that's in charge of getting stuff on streaming services, was going from door to door and being like, huh? And they're like, no. Like, so no one's like, we are not wasting our infinite space on having this for free.
This movie
or
for
even
free.
for rental.
For rent,
Yeah.
even for
Yeah.
rent.
The joke here, listeners, is the only way to watch this movie is to own it. So that either means you have to purchase it on digital or purchase it on Blu-ray or DVD. Like, there is no
Yeah.
existing way to rent or stream this movie.
So to all of you haters out there who've been listening since the beginning and saying we're not dedicated enough to this podcast.
This is a $45 episode.
It's a $45 episode. Let's go ahead and let's get some sponsors.
Why didn't
Yeah.
you guys jump on my? I told you guys you could use my.
Oh,
Amazon
I totally
account.
locked into your Amazon.
You did?
Yeah, I still
When
remember
did
your
you say
password.
that?
On in the text messages. I bought it and I was like, you guys are welcome to use my Amazon to watch it.
So,
So it's only a $30.
all total. Yeah, this is a $30 episode. So if you can
Yeah, but
donate $1 to our podcast, if you
Just by walking up and handing it to one of us.
Yeah.
Please.
For literally $1, you can feed me $1's worth of food and make up for 1/15 of me watching this movie.
boy, haven't you loved this intro? I know that I sure have. In order to get great quality intros like this every week, just a small donation of $1.
We know you guys don't like you. We know you
We
guys
hate
don't like
doing
these
these.
donations. We hate doing it. You know, we'd love to stop, but man, it's this time of year. It's drive season. It's fundraising season. That's what we do. Oh man.
Hey Carter, guess what?
What?
It's time for Jordan Wonder's Car Corner.
Yay!
Welcome to Jordan Wonder's Car Corner, where Jordan Wonder's answers all your car-related queries and questions.
I got a question.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So usually, are most things in Tokyo on the right side?
It's an interesting question. When it comes to Tokyo and left/right orientation, the rule that most subscribe to is as follows: Tokyo,
Yeah.
Tokyo, get on the right.
Okay.
Toki no, left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun little mnemonic device.
Yeah.
that lets you remember things.
Tokino, like the pizza rolls?
Tokino's pizza rolls.
Which usually those enter my mouth on the left side. So
Yeah,
that makes
and then the left
your
side-
brain
And they
is
exit
already
my
doing
mouth
it.
on the right side.
Yeah.
The left side is then rendered unusable
It just burns the
By the-
left side shut.
by the blast of pizza magma.
Here's a 1,000 degree pizza fruit gusher. Enjoy.
And then it's just it's friction welding at that point. Just and then it's done.
Extra question.
Yeah.
Do most international cars explode after being turned over? And if you were to compare that to any animal, what would it be?
Great question. Thank you, listener. To answer the first part of your question, answer A is yes.
Okay.
That's
did make
actually
sense.
why
That did make sense.
most international cars are weighted heavily at the bottom like a weeble, so that when they wobble, that's fine,
don't
but they
fall
do
over.
not fall down.
Okay, yeah.
Because if they do end up upside down, yeah, it's gonna blow.
And that makes sense because Weeble started in Germany. It was Der Weeble.
Right.
Yeah. Weeble und Wobble.
Yes.
Weebles wobble, they don't fall down.
And to answer your second question, to compare it to any animal, I don't think it's going to be shocking to anybody. So why don't we all say it together? Obviously, the animal it's most similar to is a turtle.
Timon.
Wait, what did you say?
Timon?
I said that. So you named like a proper noun animal.
We asked.
Timon is my favorite animal.
Wait, I just now figured out that you said Timon and not Tim Bone. I was like, what is that? Did you name an instrument? Like a name?
So when somebody hold on,
I said turtle.
I said goose. So when somebody asks you what your favorite animal is, you don't mean
Timon.
type of animal.
Timon.
You mean which specific animal is your favorite?
Which specific animal is my very favorite out of all of them? And it's got to be Timon.
So as I'm sure you've guessed by now, this week we are obviously talking about the masterpiece movie known only as The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
I noticed you didn't say the faster piece,
Yeah, I should have.
but we can roll with it.
Well, if you, since you're so into correcting me, why don't you just give us the synopsis?
Sure will. Sure will.
Can't wait.
Fast. No, sorry, not Fast and Furious.
It's not fast.
Sorry, not Fast and Furious.
The Fast.
The Fast
still
and
with the
the Furious. The Tokyo The Drift tells the story of the oldest high schooler in the world.
Right? He's 100. If the story had been about the renegade high school janitor, I would have been like, yeah, it makes
What's
sense.
it? Sean, what's his name?
Boswell.
Sean Boswell.
Sean Boswell is just another name that doesn't feel like it belongs to a real person. Sean Boswell is kind of a troubled teen, I guess we're forced to say.
They say specifically it's
Yep.
before his 18th birthday.
A cop.
So he's 17.
How does the cop? He's like, you're doing all that. You need to get out.
And all before your 18th birthday.
Like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand this.
So this adult male is 17 years.
Yep.
Somebody's grandpa is 17 years old.
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift tells the story of 30-year-old, 17-year-old Sean Boswell. He gets into trouble at school for racing, and then has to move to live with his dad in Tokyo, Japan. It's either Tokyo or Juvie for him.
Which is usually both. The options you have. For any-
We're going to circle back to this part of the story.
Yeah.
I can't go any further without asking this question. His mom played Wii Sports with the cop to get him out of going to juvie, right? That's
I
the
think
implication.
so.
Is that what that was?
Isn't because that's why he leaves and they're in there alone, and then they come out and she's like, you're not getting arrested anymore because it wasn't juvie. He said you're going to be lucky not to be tried as an adult.
Were there any other allusions to the fact that mom was playing Wii Sports with a lot of people?
I mean, she kind of walked in and was very flirty of like the Mrs. Boswell, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, it's Ms. Yeah, maybe.
I think
That's a weird read on that scene, but it seems to be
100%.
correct.
That's all I got from it. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
whoa,
weird.
she just did that.
So anyway, Sean moves to
being a cop.
Tokyo and befriends the only two non-Japanese students in the school. And they introduce him to the underground street racing culture in Tokyo, built entirely around the art of the drift.
Yep. Like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
A lot of pushing that right bumper.
Yeah, which is actually fun because if you watch, you can see the purple flames ignite if they drift for long enough. And, they get that
And the
boost.
numbers are 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so Sean throws in with Han because their names rhyme, and that's really the only reason. He owes Han money, owes Han a car.
Not
and
a 10-second car.
Not a 10-second car. No. And together they end up working to. This sounds like a sentence out of a fever dream if you haven't seen this movie. They together end up working together to overthrow the Yakuza through the art of drifting on underground street races.
Power of cinema.
Yeah. So
Power of cinema.
it sounds like a joke. That is the real plot of this movie.
It is. It really is. Can we start talking, please?
Let's start talking about
I
this
want to
movie.
open up with this first scene because it is truthfully the wildest opening scene to any movie I've ever been a part of.
See, you've said that a couple of times in a row, and I think you're forgetting about the blood red apocalypse sky that begins The Notebook.
That's a great point. But the beginning of this movie with the race with Tim the Toolman Taylor's oldest son and
Well, I mean, can we first, like, even before that, the slow-mo scene of everybody getting, checked before they come in this rough
what
high
is
school.
that, dude?
Yeah.
And then it's like, was there supposed to be some internal struggle as Sean watches a chubby kid get spray painted purple on his belly in slow
You
motion?
know how bullies do that? How they're like, you cross me, I'm going to spray paint your belly purple.
And he looks at him and is like, I'm going to do something. No, I won't.
Can't
and then
do anything.
I thought it was going to become a thing later where it was like, no, Sean learns to stand up for other people. But
Right.
no, he just was kind of a jerk and watched a bully get tummy painted.
Let's put ourselves in that race, though.
But, well,
let's
and
talk
before
about
we
it.
get to that race, I think it's important that we say, so definitely 100%, right? The producers of this movie were like, can we only have Creed songs and Nine Inch Nails songs for this movie? But we can't afford either of them. So can we just have knockoff Creed and Nine Inch Nails songs for this movie?
grits.
Grits, yeah. At one
My
point,
life be like, and it's just like, there's like, wow,
out of nowhere.
this was the first blatantly Christian.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool
installment.
Christian themes
Yeah.
in this movie.
This is my youth
Nope.
group went to see this.
But yeah, let's talk about this race. So essentially, what happens is Tim the Toolman Taylor Jr. and Sean Boswell get into it over nothing, and
Yeah.
as their fight begins, Sean is like, your car's a turd. And Tim the Toolman Taylor Jr. is like, no, your car's a turd. And Sean's like, all right, I'm out. And then Superman himself throws a baseball through the back windshield of a car.
But the next shot that we see is the baseball exiting the back windshield, and there is glass on the ground as if it was thrown from inside the car.
And I would like to point out also that the back windshield has no hole in it from the inside shot, which is just outrageous.
Start taking notes. That probably cost them $1,000
yeah.
to do. I'm
Sure.
just trying to add up to the 85 million that this.
Oh
movie
my
cost.
gosh.
So that's 1,000.
And there
Okay.
wasn't even as much
I'll just
CG in
interject
this
this
one as
every
the
now
other
and
one.
I know that it has to be partly because that so many cars are in this movie.
So many cars.
And
But-
a lot of them were destroyed
So he
from the racing.
Superman lasers this freaking baseball through a rear windshield.
awesome.
Unbelievable arm strength.
Yeah.
Like, this kid needs to go play in the major leagues of the baseball.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sean gets out and is like, you didn't just do that. And then Tim the Toolman Taylor Jr. is like, but I did. Let's race
Dude,
about it.
no, he gets out and he has like some sort of big heavy metal car tool. I don't know what it's called.
It's a wrench, I
A
think.
wrench. He has a he has a big heavy car tool in his hand, like he's gonna beat this guy to death with this
Well,
wrench.
Everybody congregates in this area right after high school lets out.
Right?
Yeah, the
Everybody,
baseball.
they were all there like,
The,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
it
whoa.
crashes through the window, and then no joke, like 700 kids
Yes,
all just
no,
run. Like,
you're not even-
he did not even do that.
And so they go to this fight, and then Sean's like, I want your car. And then the guy's like, well, your car's a piece of junk. What do I get out of it? And then his girlfriend goes, me.
Get me.
You get me.
Time
What?
out. What?
I think that's the point when we have crossed a line in this
I
franchise.
agree.
It's like, I'm not going to say that I was fine with objectification station, but there's a certain amount of it that unfortunately comes with the territory in these kinds of movies.
Yeah.
But the idea of ownership,
Yeah.
And of this girl putting herself up for like
Yeah.
the prize.
Yeah.
And we'll get more to that because it comes up again in this scene.
yeah.
in the most confusing
and
way.
let's not, yeah. So I understand sometimes when we fall asleep during some of these movies because the plot's so bad, but don't forget that in Too Fast and Too Furious, Tej trades 2 cattle for Suki
That is true.
at that one point, and then her firstborn.
I'm sitting here like actually trying to remember that. Like, what?
No.
What?
Guys, it was a bit. I want to talk about the
But
race.
it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're like, it could have been there.
These kids are 17 years old and they're driving through a housing development that's on school property.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this.
And they're destroying houses. They're flipping and destroying cars. And then at one point, Tim the Toolman Taylor Jr.'s girlfriend looks at him and says, I thought you loved me. Because
is
he's
she in
losing
there
a
too?
race.
Why is she in the car with him?
And then the race, and I'm not going to talk too much about like the details of the race because it's just like if you've seen cars drive and jump cuts between 2 cars, you've seen this.
Yeah.
But they destroy a bunch of houses. There's some off-road stunts. But it ends with this car. It flips, right?
Dude, how did they not die?
That's what I'm saying.
How did they not
And then
die?
everybody gets out like, man, that was pretty crazy, right? It's
What
like,
a crazy,
no,
what a crazy
you almost just
extracurricular activity.
watched your classmates get murdered.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And why is this part in the movie though?
I don't know.
What do we get? I mean, to apply logic to a movie that is seemingly not governed by it.
I think we had to have something like if it just started and everybody's in Tokyo, you've got to be like, what awful, god awful thing did he do to deserve this?
To deserve Tokyo.
What a bad-
Tokyo is a punishment.
Yeah.
What?
What did he have to do that?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, he almost killed 2 people.
So, but here's the thing is that he didn't.
Yeah.
They did it
Yeah.
anyway. They go to the school and then, but it's really the police, and the police are like, hey, you're going to go to jail like for an adult time. And then he's like, I'd really love if I didn't do that.
How did he not lose those teeth?
Yep.
Because when he smiles,
When he gives that
his mouth
nasty
is so
bloody
bloody.
smile.
Oh, dude.
But they're
man,
fine.
I also want to bring up the fact that the cop's like, those rich kids they're
Yeah.
not going to get in trouble. And it's like, okay, that's not how
That
life
feels like a
works.
weird bit of commentary in this movie. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it does, doesn't it? It feels like a
nature-
weird social commentary.
I don't really
Just
look
get a
too
slap
Fast
on
and
the wrist.
Furious to give me like,
The cop's
Yeah.
just like, and I can't wait to put you in the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
All before your 18th birthday.
Yeah, and so again, I just want to point out it is 17-year-olds
Yeah.
doing this crazy stuff. But then the cop's
Yeah.
basically like, jail. And the mom comes in and is like, Wii Sports? And then the
Yeah.
cop's like, Tokyo instead. And then we're in Tokyo, friends.
yeah.
We're just there.
I have just a general criticism that I don't know fits anywhere else.
Okay, hit me with it.
What's the name of the actor who plays Sean?
Oh, gosh. Lucas Black.
Lucas Black. Lucas Black has the squarest head I've ever seen on a non-Lego
It is
person.
not helped by his Julius Caesar straight across bangs haircut, I promise you.
He
would
was
be,
a model. He started as a model for Calvin
Wait.
Klein.
Are you kidding me?
No. He was a model. And he is from Alabama. So I'm going to give him
yeah.
a little bit of.
No, I actually read
okay.
a trivia on him
Yeah.
that said he once turned down a role because they wanted him to not have his like Southern accent. And he was like, nope, that's part of who I
Wait,
am.
is that his real voice?
Yep.
Why did it sound so bad?
Because he's bad.
Oh
Because
my
he's a
gosh.
bad person.
I think that the conspiracy part of me wants to believe that they cast him in this movie so that a real human being might somewhere say with his real human mouth, wow, I can't wait till Paul Walker's in the next one.
No, well, I said it, so
Yeah, it's like
I can't wait till Paul Walker's in the next one.
gosh,
But
it's
so
like
fu-
putting salt in chocolate milk to make the chocolate sweeter.
I did
It's
that.
just like by contrast. I know that's why I said that because
But
you get it.
Vinny Deese was asked to be in this, and he said no. And then they said please, and he said only if you release Riddick so that I can make them. And so that's the only reason he was in the cameo at the end of this movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's because they released the rights to Riddick so that he could continue to make more.
Wow.
So anyway,
So thanks,
we're in,
Tokyo Drift.
We're in Tokyo now.
Are we ever?
And Sean meets Twinkie.
No.
Right?
Let's not skip the Twinkie because let's talk about
What
the
happens
weird-
first?
The dad?
His dad with a prostitute.
Oh yeah. And he's like, here's your bedroom.
Well,
and it's a closet.
I'm jumping to conclusions. It might not be a prostitute, but he sure seemed really ashamed of his lady visitor.
And she had
Yeah.
a lot of fur.
And
so.
he comes in and he goes, I thought
Wearing
you were
fur.
coming on the 7th. And then Sean goes, it is the 7th.
It
But
is
then-
the 7th.
But then later he goes, we're a day ahead of you. So that means it was the 7th yesterday. So doesn't that mean that Sean's dad should be on red alert and be like, my son's going to be here any
Well, my
second?
son is missing.
Yeah.
These
Instead
are
of,
the things you don't have time to worry about, though. When you're
I
making an
guess.
$85 million blockbuster movie
And
that only made $62 million in
I also
the
want
US.
to point out that this movie's only about 90 something minutes long. So that's almost $1 million per minute of this movie.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Wow. That's crazy when you put it in that perspective.
right?
So now we've met. We have our weird relationship with Dad.
Yeah. Go to school,
We meet Twinkie.
put on the slippers, meet Twinkie.
What'd you guys think? Oh, I forgot about the slippers. What did you guys think of Twinkie?
I do not like that his nickname is Twink.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yep.
Something happened though, because I was like, honestly, I feel like, and maybe I'm just crazy, and these first 3 movies have done something to me, but I feel like he was one of the better actors we've seen.
100%.
Yes.
Right? Okay, good.
is
I'm
weird.
glad I'm not
No,
alone.
I was very into, and it's Pow Wow, and also he makes a like Mike joke. At the
I was
beginning. I don't
about
know if
to
you
bring
caught
that up.
Yeah,
Is it the shoes?
yeah.
The
Well,
shoes?
he goes. Do you like Michael Jordan? I love Michael Jordan. He pulls out the
Yeah.
shoes.
Oh, that's funny.
Big fan of that.
Let's watch Like Mike instead.
Huge pump on that moment.
Yeah,
for,
That was
for
great.
Me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why I brought us to Twink, because I wanted to talk about that.
And I actually really do like him.
Yeah.
I think that he is fun. Now, don't get me wrong; he's an awful character and like horribly
Yes.
written.
Yes.
but he's like fun.
Can't help that. Yeah.
He's fun. And I love that he's just like, you need a laptop, you need shoes, and then Sean goes, "How about that steering wheel?"
yeah, how about that?
How about a
that
steering
front
wheel?
end? Since I got nowhere to put it, I'll just
He
hold
doesn't
it.
have a car.
Yeah, he didn't have
He
a
just
car.
wants to hold it and remember what it was like to drive.
This brings me to my super dump for this movie.
Okay.
Come on.
I had to really get critical because I could have just said the movie itself, but I didn't want to do that. So here's what it is. In the Fast and the Furious and Too Fast, Too Furious, despite everything, we can agree that it makes sense that Conor O'Barry's
Yeah.
has an in into the underground racing world, right?
Yeah, undercover.
He's
both
undercover
times.
or he's been in town for a while.
Yeah.
In the first one, he's undercover. He got put there. And the second one, he's been in town for a while and he's on his home turf.
He's been in
So
the
he knows
game,
what's up.
cuh.
Yeah.
There is no earthly reason that it should be this simple for Sean to, on the first day of school in Japan,
Yeah.
jump headfirst into the underground racing world.
Not only the underground racing world, the Yakuza fueled underground racing world.
My super dump for this movie is that of all the leaps, of all the poorly written moments, of all the poorly acted and shot moments,
Yeah.
for me, the worst part is the fact that they didn't even try.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this.
Well, I never even thought that we would see a worse developed character storyline. But then we were introduced to Sean because from what we have seen, his first big races, Homeboy's not even a good driver to the very end.
No.
He's awful. He destroys a car.
Yeah, and we can go ahead and jump to that maybe. Is there anything else we want to talk
I
about
mean,
before we get there?
I'll go ahead and super dump too, and it'll introduce a
yeah.
couple of characters.
Give it to
But
us.
I don't super
me
dump
there.
the characters themselves, but just how, and this is legitimately my super dump, how uncomfortable I was, how close they talked. DK talks to everyone. There's not even a measurement for it.
yeah, they haven't invented
Like
what's
a
small
nose fuzz away.
enough. Yeah,
Like up in their face, and I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. And it felt like Sean had the teeth of a vampire to just bite him, and then it becomes a completely different and better movie. But he chose not
well,
to.
Sean does have those gnarly snaggle teeth right
What's
up front.
happening?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
so,
like a
so your
gator.
super dump is lack of personal space.
Yes, it legitimately is, and it's that, and I can go ahead and super dump
Super
dump.
Morimoto.
Yeah,
who was
dude.
the orange-haired dude.
He's
Yeah.
the guy from Westworld.
I was
who-
just about to say that.
He is the guy
Yeah.
from Westworld who spits in his hand when he we'll get to the
Can we
fight
talk
scene
about
later.
how impressive the spray was though when he spit
It was
in his
so
hand? Like a
disgusting.
shotgun.
He's just so gross.
Yeah, he's not
and
a
it's,
good-
there's just little things. Like I get really irritated about certain little things.
Yes.
I'm a normally go-lucky guy. Smacking, nasty noises. I'm out. I just hated it. Anyways.
So Morimoto is not your speed. Speaking of
Yeah, no
speed,
thanks.
let's talk about this parking garage race.
Yeah, this
They shut it down.
really
did.
like the racing in this feels like a weird bit of realism in
Yeah.
this series because cars get absolutely destroyed. And
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
the poor man who was run over by an 18-wheeler, we've never seen a car
we've
get
almost
super
lost
destroyed.
our downhill juice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
There's
seeing
like
much
no,
downhill.
there's
juice.
no,
hardly
yeah,
any
there's
when you're
almost no downhill juice in this whole movie.
There is some
There
on
is.
there's some on a motorcycle. Did you guys see that?
Almost none else.
That was
There's
crazy.
two
And
big
it
tanks of
almost
NOS on
looked
a
like a
motorcycle.
tricycle. Am I crazy for thinking that?
It may have been a trike.
trike.
Anything
But
can happen in Tokyo Drift.
The thing that's hilarious to me about this parking garage moment is they brought in a DJ. There was a DJ there.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
there was a DJ, and it was what And maybe it's just because I don't know how to explain it. Do you feel like the objectification has steadily gone up?
Oh my
from
gosh,
the first movie?
yes.
Was there more in this one than Too Fast? It was pretty close, wasn't it?
This felt like a lateral move.
Wait, why are you even thinking that? This is the same movie where a woman offered herself as a prize to be won in a race.
I would call that not objectification, but rather a extremely poor understanding of humanity.
Sure.
No, but I think just as far as like, let's call it visual objectification of women. Let's call
There
it
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
I would say this is a lateral move from Too Fast.
Okay, cool.
I think the male gaze is growing stronger exponentially.
Do
It's
you?
like the eye of Sauron.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, also we're stepping up our HD capabilities here too. It was a little clearer.
That might be it.
A little clearer shot in this one.
So in talking about the race too,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and pump. We're starting to figure things out with like cinematography.
Yes.
It's getting a lot better. They did
Yes.
take a leap here. And I think I'm starting to see, I guess really the magic of the Fast and Furious series, especially, I mean, if you've looked ahead, 9 and 10 are already locked and loaded. Like those are going to happen.
my gosh.
So there's going to be double digits.
Yeah.
And back to I think our first episode, it will most definitely be
The longest.
the longest since it started in 2001. We're almost hitting 2 decades of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness
But
gracious.
Unreal.
I was sitting here like the magic of this is how they just kind of kept their balance and wobbled through the first 3.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think we know it's going to get better.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hit our
excited.
stride.
We're
Yeah.
excited for that. They're bringing people back, but somehow maybe
That's me
it's-
knocking on the wood table, everyone.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait to have even moments where I go, it's self-aware.
Yeah.
You know it's stupid.
Right. But maybe they had so much steam at the beginning because it was a big car franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
a
that's what it
legitimate
was.
car franchise. And then they were like, wait, let's really take our time. We don't want to totally screw this up.
I
Because
remember-
Tokyo Drift seems to have been the catalyst for, okay, we've made a lot of
We've
mistakes.
made a mistake.
Yeah. So maybe that's what
That's
we get.
unreal to me. I mean, we'll talk. Never. I'm not going to say that now. We'll talk about this later. It's interesting that you said you're waiting for it to become self-aware because I took a very detailed note on my phone.
Okay.
At 30 minutes and 40 seconds into this feature film, Lil Bow Wow winks directly in camera. He gets in the
I
elevator,
noticed it.
looks direct, like double barrel right down the
Straight eyes
camera,
into the camera.
and winks.
It's during this race.
It's during this race in the car garage.
What?
Yeah, dude.
car
It's
garage?
when he gets into the parking garage, maybe?
Yeah, I said car garage.
It's when he gets into the
Some
elevator
garages are
with
full
all
of
the
stuff.
ladies. And he gets in and
Oh,
he snuggles
no,
up to
I
the
know what
ladies
you're
and he
ta-
goes,
yes.
boom, and just
Directly to-
barrels
You
right
almost
down
wanted
the
to hear
camera.
like a bing when he did it.
But and that's getting close to what I'm talking about.
I also do want to talk about how earlier in this scene, whenever Sean is talking to DK, Lil Bow Wow apologizes for Sean's actions by going, "Sorry, man. Monkey didn't have his banana today."
yeah.
What does that mean?
That is almost sandwich crazy levels.
Yeah.
Of like, people don't say that.
and
Ooh, why aren't we keeping track of our top 10 quotes of this series?
Sandwich crazy and monkey didn't have his bananas
Yeah,
got to be
they're
up
down.
there. But I have a problem with this. Why was he so offended by being called Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Right.
If you
Bro.
called me Justin Timberlake, I would say thank you.
I would
Yes,
say,
please.
have another banana,
Yeah.
please, monkey.
Call me more Timberlakes now.
Yes. More yeah. I'd rather be called that than what he should be called, which is like a like hasn't slept in 24 hours crocodile. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
awful.
And so anyway, they do this race and Han goes, you can take my car. And he's like, what? I want to see what the kid can do. He takes the car and just absolutely demolishes this car.
Destroys that car.
But then afterwards, Han says, you owe me a car. And he's like, nah, I'm sad. And he goes home and his dad's like, I'm angry. And then basically he goes back to school and Han pulls up again. Are we okay to skip here, friends?
Sure.
Yeah.
Han pulls up again and is like, get in. You're working for me to pay off the car. And Sean goes, cool. Off on a silly escapade.
This
to go
was
get some
almost
money.
my super dump because
Really?
of a very specific thing that happens in this scene.
Talk about it.
So Sean is asked to go in and essentially get Han's money from this sumo dude, just big giant sumo dude. And the camera lets us know that he's big and fat by showing his back. And then he turns to face the camera and the camera pans from his face directly down to his nipples.
Yep.
And just holds there for like
for a good
like a
bit.
couple,
Was
like
it
a
for the
couple of
tattoos
seconds.
though? Were we
No.
supposed to read
No,
the
because
tattoos?
his tattoo starts at his collarbone and goes
goes
like
to the
over
back.
his shoulder. It panned down to like this. My screen on my TV is ruined forever now because it was nothing but sumo nipples for like
Yeah.
3 seconds.
This would have been my favorite movie of all time if those had just lifted up and cars drove out of them. I would have been like, why?
That song from Too Fast.
why.
That song from Too Fast at the Garage where it's just like. and then Paul Walker's just like, it's time to ramble jamble.
Yes. Dude, if the Scramble came out of the Sumo titties, I'm doing it.
Oh my
The
god.
Sumo Titty Scramble sounds like the name of a ride at a fair.
Or that's the song that gets everybody on the dance floor at a wedding.
Yeah. Y'all heard about this one, right? So
No Cupid.
after
It's Sumo.
after a DJ Jazzy Jeff-esque toss out of this bathhouse, and he
it
goes
is.
back in and receives the money, or no, Sumo tosses Han the money. We get a
Why?
because
Why would the Sumo and his aforementioned titties give that money away?
Because little country boy tried hard.
yeah
Yeah,
I
There's
respect the
people
hustle.
that come
he
in
respects
and
the
days,
hustle.
they don't do
That-
it anymore.
like,
Like he was
that's-
like, nah, I gotta get this money for my friend.
That's
You're
the
going
joke.
more and more Forrest Gump.
That's
as it
the
goes.
point.
That's the joke, but that really is the moral of this movie.
No.
Like
It's just like
when
country
we-
boy tries hard.
When we get to the Yakuza showdown at the end of this,
Oh, gosh.
which again sounds like a sentence out of a fever dream. How is that in this movie?
Yeah.
When we get to the Yakuza showdown, he just tries really hard.
Well, and I'm struggling here because I want to talk more about Sean's time with Han and learning to drift. There's not a lot going on in the middle though. This movie,
No.
right?
No.
He takes what's her name?
Yeah, her, the girl. What's her name? Oh, I remember her name was like something like Mila because I thought that was funny because she looks like Mila Kunis to me.
Neela with an N.
Neela.
So Sean takes
Neela Nunes.
Sean takes
Married to
Neela
Nashton Nutcher.
to a noodle dinner, and then they drive, and then
Is this when she tells him the story about everyone used to come up here and drift, and it used to be so simple. You just drove what you had, and you made it work. And
Yeah.
now the Yakuza.
dude, this movie is absurd.
Oh man.
But yes, this is when that talk happens.
Like a lot of movies, like plots and stuff, or the point of a movie, really, a good one grips you. And so when you're writing a script, you want to be able to say, I think this will touch people that have been through this.
Sure.
0% of people
Nobody-
have had
nobody
places
in
where
the
they
whole
used to
world.
drift the cars they could just get. And the Yakuza,
Everything used to be so simple.
all the heads are nodding along with
yeah,
you. in the
oh my
theater,
gosh,
like,
the Yakuza did the same thing to me.
Everything used to be so simple.
It sounds like a Mad Lib, honestly.
It does. And
Everyone was happy and drifting until the Yakuza took their cars.
and put their slimy hands all over them. But the middle of this movie really is kind of a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to talk about Twinkie's car?
The Hulk.
The Hulk car?
It's so weird.
That's the
I
weirdest
didn't know
thing.
what it was at first. It definitely wasn't going to be a reveal until I saw the front, because I was like, "Oh, his car's beat up."
Yep.
Wait, there's a vein in that.
Oh, gross.
Is that a foot? And it was just a Hulk car.
Interesting note about that. They were allowed to do that because this was distributed by Universal Pictures, who owns the distribution rights to the
Hulk.
character of the Incredible Hulk. That's why we haven't had another Hulk solo movie in the MCU.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, it's totally fine. He works best as an ensemble
We could
character.
have that car.
Yeah.
But yeah, the middle of this movie is so weird for me. We get Sean's dad's beat up car that never.
It doesn't come back really.
Until-
Wait, no,
until the
until the
I
end.
thought it was going to be somehow a connection to Dom, because when I
I
first
thought
saw
so
the
too.
outside of it, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Like he's Dom's mechanic.
they
He's
believe in
secretly
Easter
Dom's
eggs in the
mechanic.
Fast and
Man,
Furious universe now.
This middle section is so focused on one character's relationship with Sean, and I can't hold it anymore. I've been trying to hold back, and I can't fight it for one more second. So
I think
I'm going to
we've
say
got
it
it.
now.
We both got it.
My super pump for this movie is Han.
My super pump for this movie is Han.
My super pump for this movie is Han.
There we go.
He's
Oh,
so good.
That is
I love
the first.
him.
That is the
Spoiler
first
alert.
super D duper pump.
Spoiler alert. Here's how sucky Fast and Furious is, even though I've looked ahead and there's an extra spoiler.
Yeah.
That's your favorite thing you like? One of the best things we've done yet? Let's blow him up and kill him.
Well,
Yep.
and I'm going to talk about the spoiler, even though Doge hasn't seen it.
I Googled it.
But This movie chronologically is one of the last movies.
I think we can spend a lot of time on that once we get to
Yes, we
when
can.
we circle back on the loop.
can.
But the most bizarre thing to me, and not steal your thunder, you were probably about to say this.
Yeah.
This movie takes place in 2013.
And it's like they're still using flip phones.
Lil Bow Wow is on a laptop that weighs 15 pounds.
Yeah. And so
Which would have been worth a lot in the first movie.
that's
with the
so
Panasonic.
do you know why it's set in quote unquote 2013?
Because they liked Han so much.
Yep.
They wanted to keep him around.
They literally were like, we shouldn't have killed that dude because he rules.
Well, dude, and I think they've demonstrated that they will cave to audience reactions because the first screenings of this movie did not have Dom Toretto in the end.
Yeah, so they put
And
him in at the end.
people didn't like it. They were like, this doesn't feel like it's connected to the others. So they put Dom Toretto in at the end.
That's because short of Dom Toretto and Han being in later ones, what besides cars themselves, spiritually speaking, does this really share with the first two?
Well, and I think to me, like I figured it out while I was watching this. These movies are like if the Harlem Globetrotters made a movie and it was like, we have to save the world through the power of crazy cool
Just
basketball.
stunts
We have to
24/7.
save the world through dunking.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe not, but really what you've done is just make an excuse for yourself to film cool, sportsy things with fancy movie cameras
Yeah.
and show it in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's just
And
what
that's what
these
this
are.
is for cars. But,
Yeah.
And I hear you.
No,
I
for
just-
the Harlem Globetrotters.
But let's talk
They were in
about
this.
let's talk about Han for a second. Han, first of all, I can't remember the actor's name. Give me a second.
Wow, you're thinking really hard. You're rubbing your temples. Smoke is coming out of your ears, thinking
close.
so hard.
Almost to the idea. His name is Sung Kang. And here's the thing about him. He's actually decent.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very good.
I thought he was believable. I thought he was charming. I thought he was fun. His character had like really, really had me interested.
Yes, and this I like to imagine because he's become my hero.
Yeah.
He's become my god of Fast and Furious.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I want to imagine he came in storming into where they were writing the script and he said, "This is stupid. I'm not going to say these things. I'm writing my own."
Yeah.
And then he came up with lines that were like, you know how in the old Western movies the cowboys run away to Mexico. This is my Mexico.
Mexico.
And I was just
That's
like,
such a good line.
Dude,
Yes,
and
it
then
was
when he was
so
like,
good.
when he was like, "Look, man, I'd finding out somebody who has character and is trustworthy is worth a car to me."
Yeah.
I was like, "There you go, boy."
Yeah.
Oh man,
First bit of logic in these movies that I can agree with.
yeah. And like Han was so dope and was so much fun to watch. So naturally, being the best thing about this movie, and I would honestly say the best thing about the series thus far.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
Of course, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
know,
kill
They're
him.
going to murder him.
So I do want to talk about something that he says to Sean in the middle of the movie
Okay.
when they pass the cops. And he
Yeah.
says the cop cars in Japan are only factory tuned. So if you go faster than 180K,
They can't
they
keep
can't catch you.
Yeah.
Did you guys think that was going to come back? I thought that was
I
like
100%
I
thought
thought
that was going to come back.
during the, and again, here's that word, Yakuza showdown at the end of this. I thought they were going to go like, he was going to go like 181K or something and get the Yakuza guy to slow down so the cops would catch him and like
Something
have
crazy
an
like
end
that.
to the Yakuza. Like,
Yeah.
because even that would thematically tie in with the others, all about undercover law enforcement, busting,
Yeah.
street racing.
I think it was literally just a throwaway line written to explain why they're not getting pulled over while they're flying through the streets of Tokyo.
Which, at least if it was, I mean, for me, I was so already wrapped up in these fast cars and these furious drivers
would've
and
believed
loving this so
anything at
much.
that point.
It genuinely wasn't a question in my mind.
yeah.
But let's maybe jump to Han's death because that's really the next important thing that happens in this movie.
It
He
is,
dies.
and it's the first time because he
No,
was like,
he-
why won't you race him?
Yeah. So
And then he's
we
like-
if we do that, we're skipping over when we meet DK's uncle,
Oh yeah,
Mr. Yakuza himself.
yeah.
Dick
Uncle,
Tracy?
Uncle
Yeah.
Yakuza.
So I made a note in my phone.
He's
Tracy?
also what's his name? Hattori Hanzo in Kill Bill.
Oh, is
The
he
guy who wears
really?
the steel sword.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Huh.
That's such a cool scene.
His outfit that he was wearing looks like he walked off the set of the Mambo Number 5 music video.
Yes.
Is that Lou
Love-
Vega?
Yeah. It's the most bonkers outfit that I've ever seen on film. It's absolutely bizarre. And I just wanted to talk about this scene because of his very weird tan suit. And now we can go back to Han's death.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really remember what leads up to Han's death because the middle of this movie is
DK
a
wrecks his
nightmare.
car.
That was a great race. That was
Yeah,
actually
that was
a
very
really
good.
good car chase
Yeah.
scene where the four of them were just kind of drifting
through traffic. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was one of them.
That was a lot of fun.
Because the
Pump
very
on that scene
beginning,
for me.
when they're going up the like windy thing in the first race in the parking garage, and then when they're doing this was great.
Yeah.
The two separate ones was when I was like, okay, they've stepped it up a
Yeah.
little bit. But yeah, he flips over, and when that car blows up, this was some of the first real emotion I felt.
I was just about to say,
In the series.
closest I've ever come to a genuine emotional reaction to anything happening
Yeah.
in these movies.
Yeah.
I was genuinely very sad. Nobody else seems that bummed about it.
Yeah, nobody does.
Can we talk
I
about
think
that?
I think that was the theme. Death in general didn't seem like too many people were bummed about it.
No.
Like
That is such a dark picture of
Because like,
the world.
spoilers for the end of this movie, but like DK's dead, right?
he
Like
has to
100%.
be.
Super dead.
actually, it was the opposite of feeling bad about it. People
yeah.
cheered.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
And his uncle was just like, nah, I guess I'll stick to my deal.
I think when you live in a
Deal's
world,
a deal with the Yakuza because we don't break those kinds of rules.
we honor our deals.
I think when you live in a world where every day on the way to work, at least one person gets run over by an 18-wheeler and everybody just
Yeah, at that
continues
point, it's like-
driving.
Death is a friend.
Yeah, death is just a part of your
Death
life.
is a familiar face. Watching from the shadows, waiting. I offer it tea and it says, no thank you. I am death. A poem by Jordan Wonders.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you. Death doesn't like tea. Wait, is it Earl Grey?
Death will drink some Earl Grey.
It's Earl Decay.
If you have lemon, death would like some lemon. Death's throat is sore. Thank you. I'm death.
Gosh, let's talk about this bad movie some more.
So, really, did you start a timer?
Yeah.
How much time are we working with?
20 minutes, man.
Still?
Yep.
How?
It's Fast
We've
and Furious, man.
exhausted this
It's Fast and
movie.
Furious. It's
No.
Fast and Furious. Okay.
You know what? The only thing worth talking about at this point, let's talk about building the car. So let's
Yeah.
talk about building the car. They
Build the car?
build
Like,
a
what
car.
do we talk
Yes,
about with
what's
that?
happening?
Like nothing of substance happens in this movie.
No, sorry. His dad's basically just like, he goes, you gotta get out of here. You're not gonna be safe. And he's like, I messed up and I'm not, when you messed up, you ran away. And when I messed up, I'm not gonna run away like you did, Dad. And Dad goes, yeah.
Dad says, at least you're not redoing my mistakes. And I thought, if only there was a word that meant redoing, but was one word and more commonly used in that idiom. Like maybe repeating, I think would have been really tight to say there.
Oh man. But I think,
But I don't think it's
what
worth
it is-
redoing this movie.
Rewatching my re-recording my mistake.
Remaking the mistake, the ones that I made.
And so they take Dad's car shell
Yeah.
and they put together another car.
Did they use the engine from the orange and blue one?
Isn't that the first one he wrecked? The one
Yeah.
that he wrecked in the first
The one he
race?
wrecked.
So yeah, they
They
use
used
that.
that
And I
engine.
think that's supposed to be like, Han's heart still beats inside this machine. And they do that, I guess.
I think what they've
and-
done, and it's pretty brilliant, is they've kind of given us an analogy to what it looks like to writing a script for a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
You just kind of take some random stuff.
Just see what happens.
This actually crashed last time, but well, still use a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Put it in there, make it run.
Oh, that is incredibly apt.
Yep.
That's exactly
Wow.
what they've done with that.
And here's a little
Brilliant.
VH1 behind the podcast for you guys listening. That's what makes these movies so hard to talk about for an
It's
hour.
impossible. Every scene's the same thing.
We keep looking down, and we've just been too fast and furious about this.
Yeah.
It's like we have so much time.
The only
left
way to talk longer
about
about this movie is if we were like, so Sean
it. Yeah.
is. So at a certain point, Sean is basically like, in order to make up for my mistakes, I'm going to go make a deal with the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And that
I
deal.
cannot get over how bizarre that.
Well, the
Dude,
the
is.
deal itself is completely out of place because Sean has not shown any signs yet, even when he opens his mouth, of being intelligent and having an idea of how to get out of
But
something.
also, let's talk about this. The deal that he makes does not solve the problem at hand.
No. Like, and does he know the Yakuza's heart well enough to be like, they can't turn down a deal?
Yeah.
That's how the Yakuza
They're
goes.
addicted to deals.
They're addicted to them.
Speaking of weird jumps, we didn't talk about earlier when Han says to Sean, when Sean's like, "Why are you helping me?" And Han's like,
Jenny.
Han says, "You're DK's kryptonite," and Sean goes, "Yeah," and that's it. There's no
Sorry.
reason for that. But anyway,
No. I want to stay there for 1 second because that just reminded me. My super dump for this movie genuinely was almost Lucas Black as Sean.
Yeah, he's
He is
bad.
atrociously bad.
Get him and his
really
Lego
bad.
head out of this
And
movie.
I just wanted to. I could not let this finish without me addressing the fact that he caused me physical pain to watch in this movie. Let's continue.
We have arrived at my super dump.
Get it?
My super dump is the deal with the Yakuza.
Yeah, dude.
Because if anything has ever belonged less in a movie,
In anything?
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
This is absolutely bizarre to me that he goes and he says to
The Yakuza.
to Lou Vega, he says,
Here's your money back.
he goes, here's your money back. Me and your nephew really have embarrassed ourselves and embarrassed you. We've done nothing but embarrass ourselves. I got an idea of how to fix that problem.
One of us will die.
A race. Loser has to leave town. And the Yakuza
Why is
guy
it Woody
goes,
Harrelson? No, stop. Why is it Woody Harrelson?
you only said that because I curled my L's way far back in my mouth.
That's how he talks.
He said, "There's only one deal. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off, and I'm gonna play djembe, but I'm gonna have my blinds wide open so you can watch."
I want to do one now.
Deal's a deal.
Go.
And Sean looked at the Yakuza and he was like, is he smart? Or is he?
That scene makes me cry so hard every time.
Fun fact, if you even hum the piano theme from The Feather, my mom will burst into tears. Yes.
I may not be a smart man, but I know what race is.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, that's the soundbite.
Different vibe.
That's the soundbite that I'm going to use to promote our show. Listen to Two Chunks and a Hunk. I may not be a smart man, but I know what race is. And then like just a bunch of clips of us saying the words race wars from 2 episodes ago.
Well, I was just going to say that Han's car blows up and Sean was like, Han, where are your legs? You ain't got no legs, Han.
So we're here. We're talking about my super dump. And it is that Sean cuts a deal with the Yakuza and the Yakuza guy says, good plan, Sean. That's unbelievable. If he wants somebody out of the city, he can kill them.
Yeah, just murder
He
them.
is
He has no
Yakuza.
problem. He can kill him in that room. Done.
And no one will know.
He can kill Sean and his nephew and be like, step to me about it.
Yes. Because they walked by every gang from the Warriors before they came to Yakuza
And
Nest.
everybody, for some reason, was just like,
Yeah.
Let them through.
They walked by every enemy from every side-scrolling arcade game.
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
And DK's crying again. He's so
Yeah.
emotional, isn't he?
Dude, he was
DK is so emotional.
Actually, I kind of like DK.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a mistake, dude.
I don't.
He does his hair with Elmer's glue.
I can't explain it. Look, you like Paul Walker. I can't explain
yeah,
these
give him
things.
that.
That's a
I
great
Give him
can't
that.
explain these things, man.
I still do. I stand by it. I'm ready to see
So-
him again.
Final race is just
Too long.
Just
I
drifting.
really thought it was.
Drifting
And this was
everywhere.
better racing, I think, in
It
this
was,
movie. This
but-
one was too long.
And all of their friends are watching from their flip phones, but they never show where
Yeah.
the cameras are.
How is that happening? I mean, I
No
guess
idea.
because it's set in 2013. Maybe
You
they
know, all that
maybe they
2013 space
all that
magic.
cool 2013 live stream tech. You guys remember when that took the world by storm 5 years ago?
Oh my gosh. You're still a little stuck in Woody Harrelson right
You guys remember when it took the world by storm
now. I
5
can
years
hear
ago?
it. But it's just the most absurd scene. It feels like something
Welcome to Fast and Furious.
out of a fever dream.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That whole last like moonlit night down these windy hills and make sure you're all watching on your Nokia flips.
I wish, man, it would be so fun to have somebody like that can just in their mind's eye draw really what this race, what the movie
the
screen
route was?
tells us the route is.
Yes.
We're just squiggles. Hey,
It's
this
just
is we're
crazy.
issuing this challenge. Draw us a map of this race. I don't want the real road that really exists.
Nope.
I want you to draw a map of what happens in this race and send it to us, and
Please
we
do.
will shout you out. The
We'll look at
other
it for
thing
sure.
is I'm waiting for the fan edit or the remastered version of this movie where they CGI all old tech into new tech so that chronologically it fits.
Yeah.
So the scene where it's just a bunch of like static hands holding iPhones. Showing like, we're filming.
Yeah. So he wins the race through the power of drifting.
No, through the
DK
power
dies.
of murder.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does kill DK.
Kills DK.
He does kill DK.
And everybody's like, yeah, death.
Like nothing. Yeah. It literally,
No one is phased.
and so, is it Sean?
Sean.
Sean's character, there's
Von
no,
Shoswell.
there's 0%, maybe negative, like redeeming things because now he has ended and began the movie the exact same way
I know.
Yep.
And
in a wreck that should
killed-
have and probably killed.
We'll just say killed the other people. Like
His-
it killed Ken and Barbie for sure.
it showed them.
In my
We're just
mind,
gonna
they
say
are
it.
In
dead.
headcanon, they're dead.
They're supposed to be dead.
I also want to point out the most emotion that Sean ever shows is just like a halfway smile. Just like,
Oh yeah, it's bad.
That's the noise he makes. I hear his teeth go. Anytime he smiles, just like Sean's happy.
So that's this movie. I mean,
I'm so sorry you had to sit and listen.
the
to this.
Yakuza pull through and everybody lives happily ever after.
Does Sean? Oh no, we forgot the big reveal at the end.
Oh,
the movie's
yeah.
big
Nah.
race.
Oh,
it's
big
far
yeah.
from over because
Oh,
we
yeah.
got some fam. We find out Han's family.
Oh, Han is family, and at that point, see, I already knew this was coming. Did you know this was coming?
You told me on
it's-
air
it's-
2
we
episodes
have
ago.
it
So-
in our library.
So, as soon I was just laughing because I think it's because I knew it was coming, but as soon as they were like, "This guy says Han's family," I was like, "Oh gosh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe
Dumb
the word
Toretto.
is ham-fisted.
Yes.
Just right into the middle of this movie. And it's just like, okay. Like the only way better would have been like, this talking Corona bottle wants to speak
Right,
to
he's
you.
driving like a Corona selling
A Corona-mobile.
Mini
And by the way, speaking of the fans, they're like, it didn't feel like Real Fast and Furious because there was no Dom Toretto. I'd like to point out there was no Dom Toretto in Too Fast either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, both Sean Boswell and Dom Toretto have equivalent screen time. Probably more to Sean, actually,
Yeah, that's a good point.
in the Fast and Furious universe.
Yep.
And then Dom's like, are you ready to go? And then Sean goes, ain't no 10-second car. And then Dom's like, yeah, you better be strict. I'm coming. And then they and drive off into the night set. And
Yep.
it is done.
That's over.
Finish.
I'd like to leave you guys with the tagline for this
Oh,
movie.
bring it.
There are 2 taglines for this movie.
Of course. Two
Two tags, 2 furious. One of the taglines is, on the streets of Tokyo, speed needs no translation.
Oh.
Another tagline. No. If you ain't out of control, you ain't in control.
Oh my god.
So I was going to see, maybe can we, to close out our review of this
up with a
bad
new
movie,
one?
can we come up with a better tagline for this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it. I've got
Go.
one now.
Hit me. Take me there.
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. If you ain't got a car, just buy a steering wheel.
Bingo. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Nice to meet you.
Oh, that's
actually really good.
That's a good one.
Nice to meet
That one's mine too. I'll just say that one. That's a good one. Wow,
Can
we
I
thought of it
change my
together.
super pump to what
that
just
tagline.
happened? Yeah.
Nos to meet you. Well, I think it would be super nos to go ahead and rate this movie,
rate 'em.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. Here at Two Chunks and a Hunk, we have a patented scientific cinema scale. It's perfect, and it's how we rate movies, and it is as follows. The best thing we can ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it. Buy that poster. The next best thing we can ever say about a movie is buy it. The next best thing we can ever say about a movie is rent it. The next best thing we can ever say, stream it. The next best and second worst thing we can ever say about a movie is forget it. And lastly, the worst thing we can ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go.
I'm going to go ahead and forget it. And I'll tell you why. I probably would have also forgotten The Fast and the Furious, but I always like to do a little tip of the hat to something that has culturally and, pop culturally like transformed certain parts of cinema. So that's why that ended up being, I believe, for me, a stream it.
Yeah.
And this is somewhere between the first and second one. The second one, I don't know if it's going to, I don't think from what the research I've done, it will get any worse than Too Fast, Too Furious, which is great. But I do go ahead and say forget it and not God hath forsaken us, because it's a step up, like we said and alluded to. Like maybe this is when they start figuring it out and say, let's invest a lot more in this. Maybe not more than $85 million, but let's.
Holy
and they didn't
that's
make it
unbelievable.
made worldwide like 158. So this was by far the lowest amount, and they spent the most. So it was on its last leg.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel comes to save the day. But
Yep.
I'm gonna forget this one.
So for me, this was actually kind of a tough rating because I absolutely hated this, like so much, but I loved Han so much.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so Han was almost enough to save this from the same fate as Too Fast, Too Furious, but unfortunately not quite enough because this movie is one of the most nonsensical, unbelievably bad movies I've ever seen, just in terms of they didn't even try. At no point did I want to take the orange slices and give them out at the end of the game. And so for that reason, I have to give this movie a God hath forsaken us.
Interesting. My rating is very difficult because this to me is so far the pinnacle of Fast and Furious.
Oh my gosh, I
This
can't
is-
believe that.
This has been the most
More than
watchable.
the first one.
So much more
There's no
watchable than the
Coronas.
first one. I know.
There's no family.
This is so much more watchable than the
Coronas. Sorry.
This seems like the most watchable one thus far. And for the sake of research, because you and I, listener, live in a world where Fast and Furious is a cultural juggernaut.
Yeah.
It is a thing that draws people. So in order for you to stay up to date on what's going on, you should stream this movie.
Oh, Doge.
But like we talked about in the beginning of this show, that is not possible. That is legally not possible to stream this movie. And there is... You would be sandwich crazy to buy this movie.
I'd rather just give the monkey his banana.
So for that reason, I give this a forget it.
There it is.
All right.
It's not good enough to buy. I wish you could stream it,
You
but we
just
don't
can't.
always get what
You
we want.
just can't.
Gosh.
Oh, that's too good.
I think I have a good idea for us to close this one out.
Okay.
And so
We need to do shout outs.
I think first we should shout out, and then I have an idea.
So it's time to give shout outs, and here are our shouties. Want to give a shout out to Mike Hudson for letting us know that we are, in fact, doing the Lord's work.
Thanks, Mike.
Nos.
Thanks,
Church of
Mike.
Nos.
We also want to give a shout out to the Sprite Show, both the lime and the lemon,
Yep.
and the carbonation.
Yeah.
Thanks, you
have it.
clear beverage. We also want to give a shout out to Colton Kingston, who sent a very kind and informative voice memo to Doge regarding the show this week. Thank you, Colton Kingston.
Yeah, and then we do want to give our final shout out of the week to a man who's come to mean a lot to all three of us over the past
Paying my bills.
probably 9 days of knowing that he exists.
Yeah,
and
wow.
his name is Jesse Awuji, and he is a verified Instagram account who commented on our post 2 weeks ago with a yellow thumbs up emoji and a black and white checkered race flag emoji. Jesse Awuji is a NASCAR driver of number 36 at Perfect Hydration and at number 34 at BBMC Mortgage. I'm so sorry, Jesse. Chevy, he's a U.S. Navy officer. DHA, The Sports Agency, Matthew 2523. For his story, go to jesseawuji.com.
Love you, Jess.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
You want to sponsor us?
No, he is. No, Doge, he is our sponsor already.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He sends me a personal check every week.
So what?
Oh,
I guess
you.
what we're saying is, if you're a legitimate business that wants to sponsor this podcast, we already have a totally real and not made up sponsor.
Could use more.
So,
to be
like-
clear, Jesse Awuji is a real dude.
No. He's certainly a real person, and he totally sponsors the show. So don't even worry about if you want to jump on board. Look
Listen.
at you, Squarespace.
I've always said that in all things Jesse Awuji does, there are two constant elements: his love of country and his fighting spirit. He's a talented driver, went from a D1A college football player to a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy, and is now well on his way to making his NASCAR dreams an incredible reality.
Jesse.
It's been key for Awuji, and listen to this, who is currently serving in the Navy Reserves.
Jesse.
It's been key for him to honor his
Him and
country
Sean's dad.
while pursuing and attaining excellence. So it should come as no surprise to you, dear listener, that he has championed companies and charities and podcasts that give back to our men and women in uniform.
So
Thanks, Jesse.
thanks. If you want to shout out on the show, do literally anything. Hashtag official chunky, comment, like, Do all that good stuff. Tell people about us. Please tell people about us. We have so much good stuff to say about these naughty racing movies. And we really need you to share it with your friends. Give us a sideways glance. Look at us funny. Look at us nice. Give us a hug. Point at us.
Do literally anything.
Do literally anything, and we will shout you out on this show.
You'll have to get those in now because there'll come a time when we can't just do that for anybody.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
It's
Take
easy
advantage
now.
of
Privilege.
You who are listening to this, let's say in the year 2023, and you're just kicking yourself. You're going, oh, I should have gone in when I had the chance.
Before Jesse Awuji took those guys to the next level.
Yeah, Jesse
Man.
Awuji
should have been you.
Jumped in.
Jesse, more like meal ticket Awuji. Am I right?
Nice.
Right.
Jesse.
Guys, listen. Just if you're driving, just pull over because you're going to want to just concentrate on what I have to say right now. That's
true.
The very best thing that you can do for our podcast is subscribe.
Yep.
Subscribe to that. Like imagine you've got a magazine you love and you'd love to read it once a week.
Yep.
You're not going to get that unless you subscribe.
Yeah.
Even though there's other ways to do it. Just
No,
go ahead.
no,
and
hey, just roll with it.
There's only one way.
Only the one.
way.
Subscribe to our podcast anywhere that you get your podcasts.
Yep.
And even better now, just review it. Put a review in there and like it and just say
And please,
wonderful things about us
rate
at
it.
Jesse Awuji.
Kiss it on the forehead.
If you're listening to this and you're hearing us be like, please rate and review the podcast on iTunes, and you're like, they mean somebody else. Nope. We mean
you.
literally.
We mean you. If we had the time and money to buy a movie called Tokyo Drift,
Yeah.
you have just the time and money because it's free to leave a review.
And listen, if somebody as high and lofty as Jesse Awuji can leave us a yellow thumbs up
Can
emoji
step down
and a black and white
from his
checkered
ivory
race
tower.
flag,
So can you.
you can
Hey,
do it too.
Matthew 25:29.
Yeah, you know. We all know what it says.
So
Review.
Here it is.
Leave their podcast.
Take a moment to review.
We're done?
Oh, I do have that thing
Okay,
to end it.
go.
So, with our villain's name being DK, one of the most fun things to do when you're trying to break the ice, go around the room and say, hey, what's your best Donkey Kong impersonation?
Ooh.
Because it's real hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you mine legitimately.
Okay.
It's not going to be what
So
you
this
think
is
it
no jokes. This is like
no
a real.
joke.
We have
This
to
is
really
serious.
try. Okay.
So here, and it's perfect because DK himself was a drifter.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
first DK drifter I ever knew.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I loved
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
kind of slow, but you couldn't run into him or you'd maybe get knocked
Yeah, you're gonna
off.
fly away.
Anyways, here's mine. And it has to come out of nowhere, like I'm clearing my throat. Here we go. That's all I got.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
okay.
the sincerity
I wanted
behind
more.
that. Okay. I'm gonna go with the move that he makes when you throw the punch that's been charging up in Super Smash.
So good.
So I've kind of lost my voice a little bit already, so this might be tough. It's so weird to do it sincerely and not a bit.
Yep.
Whoa.
Come on, Doge.
Was that okay? I feel
That was
about
good,
Okay,
yeah.
I feel good about that one.
I would say mine. This will be when you push B and he's charging the punch and the little clouds above his head. It's just he doesn't make any sound, but it just goes.
No, that's a cop out.
That's totally a cop.
I honestly can't remember a noise the DK made.
That's the point. So just give it to me. The point is no one remembers anything he does.
I can do most of the rap from Donkey Kong 64.
Can you do that instead? Can you sub me out?
No, I want all the shame of
We
this
need commitment.
moment.
If people are going to leave reviews, we need committed hosts.
I'm so close to doing your freaking bird noise.
No, sincere, no bits.
Okay. All right. This is the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my podcast. What does Donkey Kong do?
You gotta do it.
No, genuinely, what does Donkey Kong do?
Nope. No help. No lifelines.
Is it the
You want
part
me to give you some coaching?
is it the part where he goes, "It's me, Donkey Kong. Here's a barrel. I'm gonna throw a barrel at you, Mario."
No, I need a legitimate impersonation.
Okay,
so
get
I'm
a
going to
coach
show
me.
you two.
we won't
Coach
be done
me.
until
There's
you
only
do it.
two parts to this recipe.
Okay.
Kind of a guttural noise from your very soul while you're being tickled.
Yeah,
Go.
You gonna tickle me?
but don't go too far into Scooby Doo.
I'm moving over to tickle him. You ready?
Don't go too far.
Three.
I'm gonna move this cup.
2.
Go. I'm a little sweaty.
That's fine. It's
Go.
going to be a perfect DK impersonation.
For 2 chunks and a hunk, I'm the real Donkey Kong.
Jordan.
And I'm Carter.
Bye.